Sporty Shorty, how you doing today?
Chilling, what's
It's
going
so
on?
good to see you. I know you weren't feeling well this week, and that's why this video is up so late.
Yeah,
But I hope you're feeling better. How you
I,
doing today?
I'm feeling better. I'm not 100%, but I'm feeling better.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, well enough to make a video, so,
All right. So ideally, this would have gone up on what, Wednesday?
Wednesday.
And we're already at Sunday.
Yeah, today's Sunday.
Oh man. So okay.
Yeah, so, it's been, the area we live in, the weather's been up and down. A lot of change in the weather, so a lot of times when that happens, I get a little under the weather. But I'm feeling better.
Okay.
So, yeah. Sorry the video's going up so late, but as they say, better late than never.
Okay.
So,
So what we getting on today? Around the world of
we're gonna
sports?
do Around the World Sports Week 13.
Okay.
I'd be remiss if I did not start the video about Damar Hamlin. It's been a remarkable story this week. You've probably been living under the rock if you do not know who Damar Hamlin is at this point. He's a Buffalo Bills safety who was injured during Monday Night Football in the first quarter. Very serious injury. He almost died. He was making a tackle, a routine tackle, and the receiver, T. Higgins from the Cincinnati Bengals, lowered his shoulder, which is routine for a wide receiver to do. Again, Damar Hamlin was making a routine tackle, and he looked okay. He went to the ground, he got up, and went right back down. That's when it got very serious.
And we're so thankful and grateful to God for the healing that's taking place in his body thus far.
Yes. If you've been following his story, he's making a remarkable recovery. He's got a long way to go, but as of today, he's been breathing
On his own.
Because he was on a ventilator. He had a breathing tube. The breathing tube was taken out earlier this week, or earlier last week, I guess you could say. And he's been able to speak now. He's talking. What was remarkable, he did a very, very good thing for the Buffalo Bills. He was on a FaceTime call with them, and you could tell it really uplifted their spirits. And they went out today, and you could tell they played for him. Matter of fact, the NFL as a whole has been playing for him, which has been unbelievable to see.
Right.
It's been great to see that, the spirit of the NFL and how they rally around their brother, in his time of need. The outpouring of support has been remarkable.
Yes.
And the prayers going up to him have been remarkable as well. Going up, prayers up for him. But yeah, if you know the saying prayers up, you understand what I'm saying. And another thing is, when he woke up, the first thing he asked was, did we win? He was concerned about that game on Monday, which, if you've been following it, the game was canceled, rightfully so. It's not going to be played, which I think was the right decision. But he wasn't thinking about himself.
Right.
That's what stood out to me. Did we win? We. He wasn't thinking about his condition at that point. Did we win the game? That says something about him to me.
Wow.
And another reason, I probably could have powered through and did a video earlier this week, but I didn't even want to talk about this. To be honest, I didn't want to talk about this. Not then. Because I was hurting for this young man. I was hurting for him. Because it looked like he might die.
Right.
So I wasn't in the mood to talk about football. Just to be honest, I wasn't thinking about sports this week so much. I was thinking about this young man having his life, and the fact that his mom was there alive and she had to watch her son go down. I was thinking about them, and I don't know them, but I was thinking about them. I was thinking about T. Higgins, who actually was involved on the play, who didn't do anything dirty, but when you're involved on a play like that, it has to do something to you. And he had a conversation with Damar Hamlin's mom, and she had nothing angry to say, and she was very supportive, and that helped T. Higgins deal with the whole situation.
Right.
So shout out to Damar Hamlin's mother and his whole family
Yes.
for being resilient and being strong and dealing with their loved one in a life or death situation. A lot of people talk about football players and how much money they make. There's reasons why they make the money they make, because they put their lives on the line every time they go out on the football field. And I don't want to call them heroes and anything like that, because I reserve that for the military and people like that. But when things like this happen, and you hope that they don't happen, but you understand why these guys make the money they make, because it's always a danger. Something like this can happen. It's very rare, but it can happen. I've never seen anything like this. But it doesn't have to be this. It could be an injury. It could be a career-ending injury.
Right.
It could be a life-threatening injury. You just don't know. So, yeah, these guys, they make the money they make for reasons, not like this, but for reasons. For anything that can happen to them on that football field. So, props to them for going out there and risking their lives every week for us to enjoy it, for us to be entertained.
Right.
So, it's been a remarkable week. It's been a trying week. It's been a challenging week. But it's been a remarkable week in terms of how people have galvanized around this young man, only 24 years old. And also, I'd be remiss if I don't shout out the medical staff who have actually responded in the almost perfect way possible in saving this young man's life. Also, this young man had a toy drive, has a toy drive that he started before he even became an NFL player. Obviously, for children, his goal for the toy drive was to raise $2,500. The last time I checked, it was almost $8 million. And it's probably more than that now because I haven't checked in a few days, but I think it was about 7.7 million the last time I checked.
That's a lot of toys.
Yes. It's a lot of toys. But it says something about him as a person. That's the highlight. Is it says something about him.
Indeed.
As a person. And this is prior to football. This is prior to him becoming an NFL player. So again, my prayers to Damar Hamlin and the Hamlin family and his continued recovery.
Yes.
And God is good.
Amen.
God is good.
Amen.
Moving on. My New York Jets played their last game today. They finished the season 7-10. They lost today against Miami, who are now in the playoffs. Joe Flacco started the game. I found that somewhat interesting. I mean, Mike White is still hurt. His rib is not totally healed.
Right.
They decided to rest him in this game, which I agree with.
Yeah, I think that was pretty evident in the last
Yeah, in the last game, you could tell he was still laboring. It wasn't good for him. It wasn't good. He needs to heal. Joe Flacco is an aging quarterback. He probably should not be starting NFL games. And that's no slight to Joe Flacco. He's had a pretty decent career. But he's clearly at the end of his career. But it says more about Zach Wilson being a backup. That he didn't even get a start again. Which he hasn't. He's played poorly. But at the same time, your second pick in the NFL draft, and you're playing behind a quarterback in Joe Flacco that is probably in the last leg of his career.
Right, an aging quarterback.
And an aging quarterback, it's a telling sign as to what's going to happen with Zach Wilson going forward. I don't want to dwell on the Jets because obviously the season's over for them. But shout out to my Jets for improving this year. They obviously had a better year. I like the way Garrett Wilson has played. To me, he's a candidate for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
Because he's played that well. Sauce Gardner, another candidate for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Breece Hall he might have got Offensive Rookie of the Year if he didn't get hurt. So the Jets have a good future looking ahead.
They had a good start.
They had a good start this year. They improved, and they got a lot of good young players. So then they got a good young coach in Robert Salah. So I look forward to them having an even better season next year, barring injury. And I think we'll definitely be in the playoffs next season if everything goes the way that's been going.
Right.
And if Lamar Jackson becomes available,
Love to have him.
we'd love to have him. I like Mike White, but Mike White's a free agent. We don't know what's going to happen with Mike White this summer. But Lamar Jackson doesn't seem to be totally happy in Baltimore. If Baltimore does not want to pay him, I'm pretty sure the Jets will have some money that they could offer Lamar Jackson. We'd be very happy to have him. Very happy. So,
Speaking on behalf of the Jets organization.
Speaking on behalf of Sporty Shorty and Sporty Shorty Enterprises, we would like to we give Lamar Jackson a warm welcome. A warm welcome playing for our New York Jets. So, just to throw that out there. No pressure. Wishful minds. But moving on to my New York Knicks. Much happy about them. On Friday, they won 112-108 against Toronto.
Okay.
In Toronto, which is the first win for us in Canada since 2015.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Toronto's been beating us bad.
Really?
Beating us bad.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, this is the first win for us in Toronto since 2015, which was big.
Okay.
We can't seem to get wins in Toronto. But we pulled one out on Friday. We're now 22-18. Pretty good record. We're definitely in the playoff hunt. Around the 6th seed right now. So hopefully we'll move up a little bit. That's 4 straight wins for us. Julius Randle, again, he's been phenomenal this season. I got to give it to him. I was very hard on him last season, and I was hard on him coming into this season. I actually advocated for him being traded, which I don't advocate for that at this point. But there was plenty of reasons, and if you watch my earlier videos, there were plenty of reasons why I felt the way I felt about Julius Randle. I no longer feel that way because he's playing the way that he's capable of playing, and he's just become a much better teammate. I think that's paramount. He's been a much better teammate. He's engaged with his teammates. He's taken on more of a leadership role, and he's just been balling straight up and down. 32 points, 11 rebounds. I read a stat earlier, and it actually amazed me a little bit. Giannis, the Greek freak, Antetokounmpo, he's first in the NBA right now with at least 25 points and 10 rebounds in the game this season. Julius Randle's number 2.
Okay. All right, Julius.
The Greek freak is arguably the best player in the league
Right now.
Arguably. There's other guys that you can argue that are better, but he's definitely a top 5 player in the NBA. I don't think too many people will argue with that. He's probably the best power forward in the league. Julius Randle is number 2 in that category.
Nice.
25 points, 10 rebounds. That's saying a lot. Giannis is a former MVP. That's saying a lot that Julius is right behind him in that category, which is amazing. It's not easy to get 25 points and 10 rebounds in a game for most players. Just not easy. Again, Jalen Brunson has been remarkable pretty much all year. That's been one of the best pickups by any team, but it's definitely been the best pickup for the Knicks in recent years. 26 points, 8 assists, and he's just a leader. He's a natural leader, and he's making Julius Randle's job a much easier. Much easier job. He's just taking pressure off of him. And Jalen Brunson, he's been just outstanding.
Nice.
He's been outstanding. Another thing to mention in that game, all 5 Knicks stars were in double figures. It was a total team effort.
Wow.
Mitchell Robinson, 18 big rebounds. He's doing a great job rebounding this season. So it's been a total team effort lately. RJ Barrett is still out. He should be back soon. Obi Toppin came back, but he's not in the rotation yet. So that remains to be seen if he can get back in Tom Thibodeau's rotation.
Okay.
Tom Thibodeau just got his 100th win with the Knicks. So that was big on Friday for him.
Nice.
So congrats to Tom Thibodeau on getting his 100th win with the Knicks. Pascal Siakam, the Toronto Raptors. He torched us for 52 points the last time, and I spoke about it on this channel. 52 points, his career high in the Garden. Guess what? Yeah, that was December 21st. I took note of that. I was waiting for this game. I wanted to see what was going to happen.
In Toronto.
In Toronto, where we generally do not win. 18 points for him.
Wow. They really
52 to 18.
Stopped him in his tracks, huh?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Oh, yeah. 52 to 18.
I see you, Nick.
I take it. That's called defense. That's called defense, and that's called not being embarrassed again. So props to my Knicks for showing up and showing out in Toronto. Props to Julius Randle again. I don't have anything bad to say about him right now. And Jalen Brunson has just been great. He's just been great. And the defense has been on par. The defense has been good.
Nice.
Next, got a little boxing information.
On that fight we did not see last night?
No.
No.
I'm going to talk about that a little bit, but well,
different.
let's start there.
Okay.
Gervonta Tank Davis did win last night. Technical knockout between rounds 8 and 9. Hector Luis Garcia did not come out for round 9. He quit on his stool.
Really?
I'm surprised by that. But
Interesting.
apparently he was getting beat up pretty bad. He claims he could not see.
That's terrible.
He claims at some point he could not see and he had a headache. Apparently, we did not watch the fight, but apparently he was getting beat up pretty bad in the 8th round and he didn't want any more. But yeah, he was in bad shape. Props to Gervonta for doing what he was supposed to do. He had a remarkable showing from what it seems. They said that he picked it up pretty much around the 4th round, and he dominated from there. So, all the best to Hector Luis Garcia. I hope that he's healthy and he's on his way to recovery. And they say that his vision has been restored, but at some point he couldn't see. That's scary.
Yeah.
But props to him. Sometimes you gotta know when it's time to stop.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and good for him for knowing that. Because some guys will go back out there and get hurt a lot worse. So there's no shame in that as far as I'm concerned. So a little bit on that. Obviously, I don't want to get into that because we didn't watch the fight. But I did my research, found out that he did win and how he won. What I want to talk about, Errol Spence Jr. has been ordered to fight by the WBC. It's one of the boxing organizations, which he owns a belt, a WBC belt. He's been ordered to fight Keith one-time Thurman.
What?
Hello.
What?
Hello.
Wait a minute. When did this come out?
It came out very recently.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I had to do a little research and dig that one out.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been
that wasn't even on the radar.
Nah, it wasn't on the radar.
Oh, they say you got to.
Not
you got
everybody.
That belt, you need to fight.
Not everybody knows about this.
Get out of here.
But yeah, you heard it from me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He's been ordered to fight one time. Don't know when. Don't know when.
They didn't give him a deadline.
Don't know when.
Oh, that's
but
gonna be good.
It should be this year. Should be this year. Come on, you got Errol Spence, 28-0. Got Keith one time. People haven't been talking about one time.
One time hasn't been fighting.
One time hasn't really been fighting, but he's 29-1.
Yeah.
People forget that.
Yeah.
And
No, I mean I love Keith.
Nah,
He's great.
Keith is nice. One time is nice, and it only takes one time.
That's why
It only takes one time.
Oh, this is gonna.
He
be
got
good.
punching power in both hands.
Yes, he does.
I mean, it's not Spence and Bud. but I'll take it. I'll take it. And the crazy part about it is back in the day, Spence was trying to fight one time when Spence was coming up, but one time they didn't really want to fight him. Apparently, this is what was out there. Spence didn't really want to give Keith one time a chance when Spence got big. But he's been ordered to fight him. So now you got to fight him.
I wonder how One Time feels about this.
One Time been wanting to fight.
But I mean, at this point, because he hasn't fought in a minute.
Nah, he hasn't.
Did he even fight this year? 2022?
I haven't seen him fight in quite a while. I don't think he fought.
Right?
I don't think so. If he did, it was a quiet and it was like a lesser fighter. But at the end of the day, people. I mean, obviously, it feels like Keith One Time's been around for such a long time, but he's only 34. He's only 34. Spencer's 32. So it's not like this fight is like One Time is finished.
Right.
You know. And the thing about One Time, he's gonna be up for this fight because he's been wanting to fight Errol Spence. He's been wanting to fight him. So I think he's gonna really train very hard, and I think he's gonna be ready. I'm not saying he could beat Errol Spence, but I'm saying that.
Yeah, that's the question.
I don't.
What does Sporty Shorty think is going to be the outcome of this match?
Sporty Shorty thinks Errol Spence is gonna win. But I think Errol Spence is gonna win on points. I think it's gonna go the distance. I think Errol Spence will win on points because Errol Spence Jr. is a better boxer. But One Time is stronger. And One Time can knock you out with either hand. He has that power. Errol Spence cannot be sloppy. Because if he makes big mistakes, Keith One Time will capitalize on that or can capitalize on that.
But that's not generally his.
But Errol Spence he's
technical.
He's a tactician. Errol Spence doesn't make many mistakes in the ring.
Right.
So
he knows how to avoid.
He knows how to avoid getting hit. When he does get hit, he doesn't get hit that cleanly. So even when he gets hit, it doesn't have the same damage as if a fighter who actually really takes a hit like full on. So I think at the end of the day, Errol Spence will win the fight, but I think Keith Thurman will give him a run. I don't think it's going to be an easy fight.
No.
But I think Errol Spence Jr. is just slippery enough to get out of that fight.
He's got a leg up.
He's got a leg up, but just because of his skill.
Right.
Keith Thurman has skill, but I don't think his skill is on the level of Errol Spence Jr. I think Errol Spence Jr. is just too nice in that ring. That's why I want to see him against Bud Crawford, because I think both of them are like that.
Right.
Bud Crawford's the same way. He's slick. He's slick. He doesn't take a lot of punishment, and he knows how to box. They're boxer punchers to me. Keith Thurman's more of a puncher boxer.
Right.
You know, but I think if he catches Errol Spence, it could get interesting. That's why I'm interested in this fight, and I hope it happens.
Even if it's pay-per-view?
I'm paying for that one.
Okay.
I'm gonna pay
for it. You weren't paying last night.
Nah, last night I wasn't paying for that because ultimately I want to see Tank against Ryan Garcia.
Right.
Ryan Garcia.
We're not really. We weren't.
I wasn't really that interested in this fight. Hector's a good fighter. I don't want to slight him. He's a good fighter, but I think Ryan Garcia is a better fighter.
Right. And we just weren't paying for
And
that.
I wasn't paying for that. We weren't paying for that. It wasn't gonna happen. But that's what it is. Maybe we get to see Errol Spence against Keith Thurman. It's not Bud Crawford, but
We'll take it.
I'll take it. It'll still be a good fight, I think. Like I said, I think it's going to be a distance fight. I don't think Errol Spence will be able to knock out Keith Thurman. I think Keith Thurman has a slight chance of knocking out Errol Spence, but I don't see that happening.
Only if he catches him.
If he got to catch him, but he got to catch him probably more than once. I mean, Keith Thurman's one time, and he can get you one time. But I just think Errol Spence is just too slick. That one time, I don't think he's going to catch him flush. I think he might catch him, but I think Errol Spence is slick enough to be able to avoid those big, heavy shots. I think he might need 2 times or 3 times.
Oh boy, well, I hope he doesn't get frustrated by that.
You're right.
Because that's sometimes what we see in the ring.
Right. Keith Thurman might, if he can't knock him out, I think Keith Thurman might not have a plan B. And I think that might be a problem. I think that's what might lose him the fight. is he might not have a plan B or a plan C. And if you don't have that, you can't beat guys like Errol Spence Jr. Period. Just can't. He's too smart. He's too smart. So if we can't get Bud Crawford this year against Errol Spence Jr., I'll take Errol Spence Jr. Versus Keith Thurman. I'd like to see him one time in the ring again.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
And he's always good to watch.
Right, and he only lost to Manny Pacquiao. He only lost to Manny Pacquiao.
And that was Manny in his prime.
And that was Manny in his prime, of course. But I'll leave it there.
Okay. All right. Well,
So
good.
remember to like and subscribe.
Turn on that notification bell.
Bell.
Miss an upload.
And I'll see you the next time around.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.